G'day, guys, and welcome to the Centre Bounce for a different edition. This is a public Tuesday live stream. Normally, it is reserved for the members, but we thought, you know what, with this week as it currently stands, maybe we'll just release it this one to everybody, and we have a bit more of a wider discussion because the Monday live streams haven't been going on. So we thought, you know what, we can do it on Tuesday as well, especially on a really big week. Prelim final week it's here, and really excited for it. So looking forward to having a chat. Big J will be on very, very shortly. Hopefully you guys are all doing really well and that you are just as keen, if not more keen, than we are for what is to come. It is a prelim week, but there is, of course, a lot of discussion going on around the inequality of the league at this point. And if we have a look at the last 24 AFL Grand Finals, even 01 was Lions in here. So there was a Lions, appeared in 4 Grand Finals, the Pies in 2, the Cats, a lot of crap going on and lack of equality.
Hey,
Big J
what's
here
up,
to us more about it.
Oh, mate, I am too much inequality in the AFL. Not enough quality, not enough equity. Yeah, the NFL. I go back to the NFL, but the NFL seems to be one of the few games where loyalty's great, but money pays and money talks, and would rather be on the other end of that, being a club that maybe can't get the best players, but is happy to shill out and actually get some good ones across the line. So, yeah, bit of a rough one there. For the 3 people that are watching, thank you very much for being on. I'm going to just quickly post this up on Twitter, and we'll see if we can get a few more people across. Bit of a change from our normal Monday night streams. We have kind of opened it up to everybody because we didn't have a couple of members there last time. So, yeah, it should be a good show. All right. Hey, how's it going, Tatums? Hope everything's going well. Mate,
I can finally hear you. I can finally hear you.
It is a good day.
Joe, good to see you, Adam.
You know what I said to someone today that 100% must be true is this year has to be the best year ever of AFL finals. Like just how competitive they actually are. Something that we haven't really seen for a very, very long time, I think.
Oh, this week wasn't that competitive, to be fair, though. Like the Gold Coast Suns got absolutely destroyed by Brisbane.
Yeah, but it was competitive for a while.
Not really. I'd say the first few minutes of the game in the first quarter, but then it became an absolute blowout. And the Crows, look, I'll still give a pass to the Crows this year because of how high up they rose from 15th to 1st. But let's be real, that was a very disappointing final series for them. Like they did not even win a single quarter in their 2 finals games. So you got 8 quarters of football that they played. They did not win a single one of them. So they definitely shat the bed, I suppose, in the finals series. So it does take a shine off.
I did say the same thing, Joe. I said it last week when they lost the first game. I said Adelaide is going to be the he's going to be the first one. There you go.
And that's what happened.
So,
First team in 42 years to have done that. So that's pretty bad. Tatum, how'd the community team go? The community team in finals scored 12-22 this week. And So its overall rank at the moment is 23,000 out of 47,000. So it's not that amazing. Jarman Impey definitely let us down for some reason. I don't know how he got in the time. I don't know how he got in the team, but everybody else. I mean, Neil Bullen.
How did you pick Jarman Impey?
I have no idea what happened with this coach's box, bro. I don't know. I have no idea what happened. Bailey only scored the 75. Neil Bullen only scored the 61. Yeah, so Newcomb was a great selection. Rao was good. Dunkley was good. Worrell was good, but I don't entirely know how this came to pass. But yeah, we can clear out the team and we can do better this week.
It feels bad, man. I've got half my team's Gold Coast and Adelaide players, and Gold Coast and Adelaide are not playing. So there you go. Oh man. Oh, buddy.
I don't remember someone picking Impey over Zorko. I have no idea how that came to be. Like I never would have considered Jarman Impey as a potential selection. I have no idea how the hell he managed to make it into this team. Because I definitely don't have him in my team either. So I've got no idea how Jarman Impey got there. I'm just looking at him like, what? Jarman Impey in here? What the hell is going on? That was bizarre. Yes, Zorko is a must in defense. Yep, for sure. He's going to have to be in there. Yeah, I think
my Supercoach season kind of fell off the cliff when I decided to trade Zorko, and Zorko in this game definitely is going to be selectable.
You'd think Harris Andrews probably has someone play a defensive job on him this week, so I don't know. We'll see about that.
Who even plays? Gee. You got to pick someone like Tom Stewart, right? I might go Zorko Stewart, I think, for a back line. One of Battle, Weddle, Amon, Sicily will probably all go big, but I think it's hard to pass up those two.
Possibly.
Henry, how you doing, Henry? Nice to see you on this. What is a Tuesday? Normally it's exclusive to the members where we have opened it up, I guess, through the final series. Mate, the centre throw, Joe. Might be.
Why the centre throw?
Because they're not allowed to bounce the ball anymore. They have to throw it up.
True. The centre ball up. The centre throw up. The centre throw. That's actually, I didn't even, wait, is that they're going to implement that next year, right? Oh, man, no, the centre bounce should always be the centre bounce because it's going to be iconic, That's how OG we are. We were around when the bounce was still a thing. I think the centre bounce has to stay. And then everyone, because all the traditionalists are going to be like, oh, I remember those good old days when the ball was bounced. Now it's all, now it's all basketball-esque with the jumper ball. I think centre bounce got to stay. I think it's got to stay.
You know who's been the best selection I've had in this game so far, Joe? That no one picked, apart from me, bloody Lloyd Meek in that ruck position. He has scored 240 points in 2 weeks. It's bloody good.
Oh yeah, Lloyd Meek's gonna be my ruck again. I think.
Should have captained him. I captained Zorko. I captained Zorko, and it didn't really work out well for me. So yeah, it is what it is.
And then in terms of midfielders,
we've got to talk some. Player movements and all sorts, Joe. The forward line in this game is always the hardest position to pick because you don't know if this is the week Jeremy Cameron, after a week off, just goes bananas. If Ty Gallop, the man that somehow gets an 85 in the final series, goes big. If Sam Butler goes big as well, it's mate. Some of these Brisbane players were just dominating last week, and it kind of skewers a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. In terms of forwards, I think De Goey is playing more on the ball, so I think De Goey is for sure. And then the other forward could be a Gunston.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Newcomb.
But I'm going to probably go... Zach Bailey plays Collingwood. I don't know how he's going to go against
How about Will Ashcroft going massive last week? That was a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, it was. I'll stick with Brian Myers. He always just flies under the radar, this guy. I think Brian Myers always just flies on the radar. No one ever gives this guy any attention. He always just... just goes. I don't know. This might be my team. Zorko, Stewart, Dunkley, Dacos, Newcomb, me, Degoe, Myers, and Holmes. I'm just gonna load up on the mids. A midfielder from every team. There you go. This is full representation here. A midfielder from all 4 of the teams. Dempsey's a mid, Causa. Dempsey's a mid, which makes it really hard. I will go with Dunkley as the VC, just tackle away. And then captain. I think the thing is Newcomb's probably going to get tagged by O'Sheen Mullen, isn't he?
Maybe.
I'll go with Holmes. I'll go with Maxi Holmes. Yeah, Stewart's going to be marking everything. Do we go Newcomb? I'm going to go with Newcomb just because I know he's going to get tagged, but stuff it. He's been the best player on the field every time he's played in a final, and he's been unreal. Dacos and Holmes. Well, that's what I've got there. Newcomb will definitely get the Mullen tag. Does that mean that we don't go with him? Possibly. The forwards are a hard one. Thing to go in Myers. Oh, yep, that's what I got. To go in Myers. What position of Dempsey's a mid? It's fun picking any players. Hope they do this finals comp every year. I think they will. I mean, how many players have we got again? Was there 48,000 people doing it this year? Yeah, 47,000 people doing it this year.
There's quite a lot. It's actually quite fun. I think when it comes around to the game, probably next week is going to be a really tough one because you're going to pick like one player from each team, and there's only 2 teams. So yeah, outside of that, it's not bad.
No, they'll probably say
it's fun. It keeps people engaged, which I think is the big thing because probably come round 15 or 16, maybe round 17, 18 now that the game's a bit longer, people definitely fall off. I know John and I kind of did after spending all our trades early. And
exactly.
Like, hey, we're actually touching the website again, whereas this time in the game we wouldn't be.
Yeah, 47K. Exactly. It's very decent. It is very decent turnout. But yeah, Brownlow top 3. It's a good question. Brownlow top 3.
Because you can't really pick Bond. You just don't have the people, I think.
Dacos. Not in any particular order. I'm thinking. I don't know if Nazaya sneaks in after the way that he ended his season. He completely went on an absolute tear. Because the problem with Anderson is he had such a great year, but there's no doubt Raul stole points off him. There's no doubt that Raul and Anderson were cannibalizing each other. So
I feel like Anderson was only good in the second half as well. He wasn't great at the start of the season, like from round 1.
So I think Dacos gets points. I think Dawson gets points, as you say, Tatum. Anderson will get some points, but him and Raul are going to be eating into each other, I think. That's why I was maybe, it's going to be a good count with that single clear standout. Yeah, exactly. This is going to be the closest one in a long time. But the reason why I'm thinking Nazaya starts to come back really hard, because I think his performance has only just got better and better, and he was becoming more flashy and flashy. I reckon Nazaya could possibly make it top 5, despite having a slower start to the year. I wouldn't be surprised if Nazaya ends up being a top 5 player. Does he make it into the top 3 because of all the players sort of? And Raul kept knocking over umpires, right, Henry? So maybe Anderson gets more of the points and Raul gets shafted a bit more. That's a good call. All right, I feel a bit better about the Anderson, Dawson, and Dacos as the top 3. Bailey Smith, I think, started off the season like a house on fire. So maybe Bailey Smith is in there in the top 3.
I don't even know.
It could be Bailey Smith, Nick Dacos, Jordan Dawson, Noah Anderson, and Nazaya.
Let's
be a top 5.
Let's cheat.
How do you? What do you mean? How are you going to cheat? Are you going to the bookies?
Yeah, I just want to see who's actually like this year. I don't think I've watched. Not that I haven't watched enough AFL, but I've not cared enough. So I'm
Right.
like, hey, you're like Nazaya could be this and blah 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 blah, and I'm like, I don't really care. Like, it's never going to be what player that I seem to like. So the bookies have Tom Green doing okay. The Bont obviously does okay. Butters does okay.
Yes.
Currently, I think they've got Nick Dacos first, though, and then Caleb Sarong to round out the top 5. So, yeah, could be an interesting one there, Joe. Max
Wrong.
Gawn will obviously
Surely,
poll.
surely
Gawn will
Brayshaw takes
poll well.
some points. Surely Brayshaw eats into Sarong.
I think so, but I think they've had enough games where they've been like best 1 and 2 that like one will get 3 points and the other one will get 2 points. So
Right.
I don't think it hurts them too much. I would, if I had to pick someone outside of looking at this, someone like a Bailey Smith, I think, would be a very hot pick, just for the fact that I don't think there's many people on the Geelong team that would really take points off him as much. Like Dangerfield has a good game every so often. Tom Stewart has a good game every so often, but it's not. Yeah, it's not the best. I was looking at Betfair. Brownlow predictor.
I'm on a sports bet. So Dacos 1, Baz 2, Dawson 3, Anderson 4, Rowell 5, Nazaya out at 6 at 51.
Yeah.
So
like he's been very solid, but I don't know if he at the start of the season has been as dominant. Like the last few games, 100%. Like he was carrying games off his boot. The game where he kicked like 3 goals and scored, $1 million in Supercoach, 100%. But I think there were a few games, especially at the start of the season, that maybe the first half of the season are not that bad. That would totally
but
just tee off.
no one's
Would
taking
totally
points
just
from him.
tee off St Kilda's listing if all the big names come to St Kilda and then Nazaya wins the Brownlow just to say, hey, they can start putting Brownlow winner in front of his name now.
Yeah, but Nazaya has got no one at St Kilda taking any votes from him. Like he could, even in the games where they lose, he could probably still get one potentially. One vote there because no one. He was by far and away their best player, and Cal Wilkie. But as we know, key defenders don't get any votes. So yeah, I guess the ones that we're looking at, the ones that we thought, well, the bookies have got them as their favourites, which is not a surprise. But another thing that's not a surprise is if you look at sort of had this on the screen a bit earlier, look at the last 24 AFL Grand Finals. Now, it should be 25 because this 01 also had the Lions in there. So you look at that, Lions, Pies. So it was Lions, Bombers, then Lions, Pies, Lions lose to Port. Cats win. Hawks, Cats. Cats, Pies. Hawks win there. Hawks, Pies, Cats, Pies, Lions. And then this year, you're guaranteed to have either Hawks or Cats or Pies or Lions. You're guaranteed to have them. So we are having, in this modern era of football, it's the same 4 teams basically appearing time after time after time. I guess you can say that this is now a large enough sample size. 24, 25 years is not a small period of time. I guess you can say that the AFL's mission and policy of trying to have equalization has well and truly failed abysmally.
I do think, though, I mean, we spoke about this a little bit off air, but how many of those people are from, like, Brisbane to club state? But for majority of those early wins, they were the only club state. Hawks, definitely. But them and Geelong, I think, have always had a pretty strong history of being a big club, which obviously draws people in, but being good at picking up talent that maybe other clubs missed or other clubs didn't have, and just kind of building off that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there's always something to be said as well, I guess, about playing in front of 100,000 people every week at the MCG, and just the draw card of something like that compared to maybe not a Marvel Stadium, but Marvel Stadium, if it was sold out every week, it is still okay. Just a bit of a rough one. I think as well, there's something to be said, Joe, similar to what I think a lot of AFL players are dealing with now and clubs are dealing with now. If you were a kid, let's pretend you went and played for the Cats, right? You can go and say, this is my childhood club. This is the club that I supported. Because back in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, these were the really good teams. And now 10 or 20 years later, when I'm old, I'm going to go play for the club that I supported as a kid. So kind of a follow-on effect where these guys are 20 years ago, the club was really good. They're really happy, things like that. And now it's the same thing. I know that, like, for a Jack Higgins, for example, like, supported St Kilda as a kid in the early 2000s. The club was up and about, doing well. Now him as an adult wants to go back to the club that he supported, the club that had that success. A lot of people saying the same thing about a Geelong. I lived in Geelong and always supported the Cats, and I went off and did something else, and now I've come back and doing the same thing. Same with the Hawks, 2000s run, 2010s run. Just kind of the way it works, If you don't have that success, you're never going to have the prolonged success, because I think North Melbourne in the 90s were a good team, but no one's, in 5 years going to say, oh, when I was a kid growing up, I supported North when we had 8 wooden spoons and, I'm really excited to go play the club.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, losing a generation of supporters, bro. It's honestly like losing a generation of supporters.
Yeah. Everyone's just gone.
The 4 best teams the past 25 a long way, maybe. Yeah, Richmond as well created something out of nothing, and it definitely helps when you've got.
They have again.
Yeah, they're well run, good football clubs. They're just 100%. I think it gets overlooked how good those clubs are at developing young players. I don't know, man, about Collingwood developing young players. I don't really think Collingwood's really good at developing young players. I think the Cats are great at doing that. I think the Hawks are great at doing that. The Lions obviously are great. Yeah, I wouldn't say the Pies themselves are necessarily great at developing young talent. They're always going to be a big draw card recruiting great players. And I think, someone like, and again, a lot of the success coming out of Collingwood at the moment are from father sons, obviously, who've got some really good, early development that you otherwise would not have anticipated that any other player, especially when you've got good genes in you. Peter Dacos, he was the Matt Marvel, mate. Oh my God! Look who's in the chat, Pommy.
What's up, Pommy? How you doing?
Pommy, how the fish are you, my friend? Want to see me? Yes, I would love to see you develop. My wife is top 1% as my wife ever told me.
Oh, I tell you what, I've told the wife already. She's not from here. She's from overseas. But I've told her already. I said, hey, my kids are going to play AFL. Like, don't worry about that.
Oh, mate, Big J, little big kangaroos coming out. Yeah. Oh, can you imagine if we played for the Bombers though? Oh no.
Nah, it won't happen.
It won't happen. You just tell them, no, I'm playing for North Melbourne.
My kids count as Category B, so we get in for cheap,
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Done. You're talking about, like mine, Carlton. We're playing catch up with those teams for another 25 years. Oh no!
But at least the thing with Carlton is that regardless of how bad the seasons have been, the beautiful thing about your team is that the parents make the kids get into the club. The grandparents have made the kids, have made the parents, and so on. So it always ends up being like, oh, this was my dad's club, and through thick and thin, I'll show up and things like that. The last couple of years, maybe not, but you guys were getting pantsed, and still like 50,000 people show up every week. So it makes a big difference, I think.
Except 2000, every AFL Grand Final has had one of the Pies, Lions, Hawks, and Cats. Every single one of them.
Yeah, a bit rough.
Yeah, look, they obviously are. And the thing is, Tatum, they do things right, which is, of course, have a big fan base, pay really well, give them Collingwood are a big, powerful club, and they're always going to be a draw card. and you see them, they're always active in the trade period. They're always active with free agents. They're a club that, and as Craig McRae says, give me players, not picks. And they're always active in that space and willing to do whatever it takes to do that, even if it means letting go of someone like a Grundy, who was on big money and paying some of that salary, letting go of someone like Treloar, letting them go and paying again some of their salary. The Pies are very aggressive in player movement and player acquisition. Don't really think that they do most of their incredible work in the draft and developing players. I think they do most of their best work through getting some really experienced players. And we can't forget that the Hawks, the Hawks had a ripper draft where they got all of Luke Hodge, Buddy Franklin, and Jordan Roughhead all in the same draft, I think it was. And then their backline, the rest of their backline, they just supplemented it with acquiring other players from other clubs. Getting someone like Brian Lake out of the Doggies, getting Gibson out of Port Adelaide, I think it was. Again, getting someone like Burgoyne.
Gibson played for North, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Gibson played. Sorry, Burgoyne. Burgoyne came out of Port Adelaide. That's right. Gibson played for you guys. Like you just do all these shrewd pickups to get some of these plug and play players, but your spine, the core of your team, they had drafted and they had developed, obviously under Alastair Clarkson, one of the greatest coaches of all time, and they developed a wonderful system under there. So the different clubs have gone about it in different ways, but I think I don't think the Pies can say that they've developed talent really well. Even now, like you ask me who their best young player is outside of the Dacostas, for example, who aren't necessarily young, you'd probably say maybe Ned Long. And Ned Long was a product of Hawthorn. Hawthorn let him go. It wasn't even Collingwood that did that. It was Hawthorn that probably did the legwork, and now they're probably pinching themselves a little bit, like how the hell did we let this guy go? He's doing really well for the Pies at the moment. So yeah, it is very hard how other clubs are going to find a way to be able to run like them. But good people make good football clubs.
Yeah. I think I've gone on it multiple times, but I really do think there is a bit of a cheat code when it comes to making a good AFL list, but people just don't do it. And that it's poached from the state leagues. It really does come down to that. You let other people do the hard work for you. Similar to our slogan, Joe. We do the hard work so you don't have to. We could be the state leagues. We develop the player. We give them a good gym system. We make them really good. Hey, here's a Nick Martin. He's a Max Hall. Here's whoever the next Jai Newcomb. Just this level of player. Like, there's so many of them there. But clubs, and especially clubs on the bottom of the ladder, I don't know why they do it. They continuously go and draft kids that take years and years and years of development that they hope are going to be good players, especially with the later picks. Like, I understand, cool, the first 30 picks are really good. The talent's there. But grab the player you need that are automatically going to be playing in your team with the later picks. I mean, Pommy's saying here, this is why Geelong are great. Because they Lawson Humphreys, just go and poach him, whatever it is. There's so many of the Tom Stewart. There's so many of these good players available with later picks, and clubs just don't pick them. And maybe it's a used commodity idea. I don't know what it is, but it's ridiculous. These players are there. They're ready to go. They would automatically, I saw that. They would automatically kick some of your kids out of a spot, which is what you want. You want to upgrade the team. And players just don't do it. Even if it's grabbing someone like a North Melbourne who desperately needs a good key defender. Every AFL club in the state league has two, at a minimum. You can't pick one from the pool of 80 people that are there. It's bonkers how these clubs just don't do it. They'll go get the former AFL player. They won't get someone who's developing and ready to go. Geelong will. Hawthorn will. They picked up Blank. They picked up all these people. Even Richmond, to a certain extent, had Tyler Young, and then they had Jacob Blight and all these guys, and they slotted straight in ready-made AFL players to a certain extent. So why can't the clubs that are struggling actually do that? What's stopping them from?
Clearly, there's a list management problem. There's clearly a talent identification problem.
Yeah,
I don't know. I really like. Again, it's weird how someone like West Coast, who obviously weren't in the best place, they had Nick Martin playing for Subi, their feeder club. And it's insane how someone like that manages to slip under their radar, despite him being in their feeder team, and Essendon across the country have got someone who's managed to spot him out. Like it is weird how different clubs have different sort of talent acquisition teams. G'day, Charles. Don't apologise, my friend. It's good to see you. Big fan base helps with the history, absolutely. Pommy has a controversial opinion about the father-son, is that I think there's something beautiful about joining later. Like, I get the romance, but imagine being, say, a Dacos or a Kuda or a Danaher going to North Melbourne and then getting them in the 8 and moving on afterwards and forging your own career.
And this is where I thought, maybe not anymore, but this is where I thought maybe a Nick Dacos or maybe someone else would go to a Tasmania and say, hey, instead of playing at the club that my dad's at, I'm now going to forge my career and make, this club mine. I'm more than happy to, if they made it a blanket thing, academies, okay, but make it academies across the board for everybody. Scrap the father-son. Be like, hey, if you're desperate to play for the club that your dad played at, first contract, request to trade. If you're that desperate to go play for a Carlton or a Collingwood or whoever it is, cool. Go and do that. Just the amount of not match fixing, but drama and lack of accountability and whatnot that's caused in recent time. Because I don't think up until now, and credit to the pre-18, because I've said this off air, Joe, credit to the pre-18 training schedule and whatever else it is, where the kids who are going through the school leagues are just so much better than what they were 10 years ago. So much better than what they were 20 years ago, that I don't think we've had ever so close to almost year after year after year having a top 3 pick being best, like being a father-son. Like every single year, it's almost been the same thing. Maybe this year it won't be, but guarantee you when the next Ashcroft comes in, when the next whoever else comes in, that it's going to be again. So it's credit to all those people, but it does kill the league a little bit. I mean, more than half the picks, I think, in the top 10 or 20 this year are all allocated already to whatever clubs. It's just about actually paying for the players. So, like, equalisation will never happen, while Brisbane can get, like, father-son picks for 2 picks in the 30s, and they get to pick 1. Like, I'm sorry.
The discount always boggled me. Them giving a discount for matching early bids always just boggled my mind. Because why?
They're just getting, like, the good players are getting better. The good clubs are getting better and better and better. Yes, they have to have the same things. They've gone through the same system, whatever it is. But it just feels like the best clubs are getting better and better and better. And, like, that's it. They'll say, cool, I'll trade all my first-round picks. I'll get all these free agents because we know Nick Dacos is coming. So we'll just be able to select him with our picks in the 40s, and then that's it. So, yeah.
What about the academy? Jez Pommy was saying that the academy should be AFL owned. Give the options for clubs allocated Tasmania, Brisbane.
I've said the same thing. I've said the same thing, and I've said the same thing about AFL clubs in general, making it a way that like you get contracted to the AFL, not the club, and then it allows you to be traded around and moved around and player movement a lot better as well. But 100%, if you could say that, every club gets $1 million per year and everyone from the academies now have the same benefits, grassroots footy would be huge. The benefits for that would be immense. All these kids out in Werribee area near where I live, like, they don't give a shit. That's North Melbourne's academy area. We're never going to get anyone from there. Never. But that's our academy zone. Imagine if we could say, hey, here's a new training ground. Here's some new development. Here's a weekly tournament or gym session or whatever it is to be able to develop some talent in that area, you would get kids from disadvantaged places moving to your academy zones and things like that and being able to develop. And I think it's something that they've missed out on a little bit, especially with, I'm not going to say that the rise of multiculturalism in Australia, but where the population coming, especially to the west of Melbourne, they don't care about AFL. They want to play cricket. They want to play soccer and things like that. So to be able to bring in those people over the next 20 or so years and getting them involved, you'll see a whole new generations of people playing AFL that you've never seen before. But, we care about the Gold Coast Academy where they now have 15 picks and, they're trading their first rounders for more first rounders, and guys like Jake Rogers will never, ever play AFL again at Gold Coast, but somehow they'll get a first round pick for him and rinse and repeat and so on and so on. So it kind of just doesn't work, does it?
I mean, the AFL is not really... I mean, when it comes to the Gold Coasts of the world, for example, the AFL isn't necessarily caring much about the equalisation there because they're trying to grow the sport in a rugby state. You know what I'm...
the AFL is huge in the Northern Territory and the north of Australia. They don't play... The Indigenous people don't go and play rugby. They don't care for rugby. They all play AFL.
Gold Coast are not in the Northern Territory.
No, but they're in the northern states. They go and play in the Northern Territory. Don't they have home games in the NT? Half their games are played in, like, Darwin.
They play 2 games there, I think.
Oh, no, it's more than that.
I could have sworn they played 2 games there. Let's have a look at the fixture. Gold Coast.
Surely they play more than 2. What's the venue? Press the venue. Can you just press
venue?
the venue?
What was it called? TIO? That's Darwin?
Yeah.
1, 2. They played 2 games in Darwin, bro. I'm telling you.
That's all right. It feels like more. But
2 games.
It just doesn't seem right.
They have an agenda. And the agenda isn't equalisation of these teams, because another thing that the Gold Coast Suns, because it's a newer team, they don't have access to father-son because none of their players would be having sons.
They don't need it. Apparently, Christian Petrarca and everyone else is all going to go up there and start playing at the Gold Coast. So I don't think they'll get Dusty Martin out of retirement. Like they don't need it, bro. They really don't need it.
Ultimately, for me, it's what this is, Tatum. Like, the stronger clubs will stay strong because the way that this is set up is, all right, you are a poor team, you finish low, you get a higher draft pick. But just simply getting a higher draft pick isn't necessarily going to be what's going to make your team suddenly become good. You can be at the bottom of the ladder for a number of years and get multiple draft picks before you finally start to really see these big sort of jumps up the ladder. But ultimately, a player can say, enough's enough, I can't be stuffed playing here anymore. I want to go to a better club. This is hard. I want to go somewhere else. And then you just go. The rich always get richer. You got the Hawks. They're very aggressive. The unsociable Hawks, they talk to people. It's getting someone to come to you. Geelong, you'll know about Geelong, how good they are at acquiring new players. The Pies, really big club, big draw, big supporter base, MCG based. The storied history, they draw a lot of people as well. All of it, Brisbane is still the talk of the town, still the main team up in Queensland. It's just rinse and repeat, as you say, in terms of a player that's really good, gets tired of being in a poor team, and then just goes to somewhere where the grass is greener. And you look at Barris now, and Barris is loving life, and he's thankful that he's moved across to the Hawks. And now look at him; he's playing in a prelim. Something like Merritt. He's a higher draft pick. Was in the 20. I think was in the 20s potentially. So it wasn't like he was a second round draft pick. Good player, spends his time, plays a long time at a club, gets sick and tired of not winning, and decides it's time to go. So it's just rinse and repeat of the poor teams on the bottom not being able to get good enough quick enough, and all of a sudden they just keep going to where is best. You see Sydney get a lot. Sydney are out of the footy bubble, and they've got a great culture. They've got a great academy. So a lot of people love going to Sydney. A lot of people like to go to Brisbane. Warmer weather. Heck, even Kerno now is open to a trade to the Gold Coast Suns. So they're starting to become a bit more of a destination club. Geelong's always been destination. Hawks have always been destination. Collingwood have always been destination. The Bombers have at times been destination, but really not for the A-grade players. They've been more for the B-grade players looking to get a good pay packet out of the Bombers.
Paycheck.
Yeah, a good paycheck, But in terms of genuine all-star, all-Australian trying to win flags, no one's going to Essendon. No one's going to North Melbourne. No one's going to, these lesser names. Now, the Saints are a different story. Saints are truly they're trying to throw their weight around. They're trying to act like big boys. They're trying to buy all these players out there on the market to make them look like a destination club with the hope of convincing Nazaya that, hey, your future belongs here. We are going to be competitive. We're going to be competitive for more than these 2 years that we've got you for. And we're going to be pushing forward to finals, and we're going to be pushing forward to a flag. And we want, and we're going to get all these big name players to come and join us, and we're going to build a super team of our own. We're going to be a destination club. You want to play for Ross Lyon? You want to play for the Saints? We're going to win our second flag in history. So the Saints, it's not funny what the Saints are doing. I think what the Saints are doing is maybe something that they should have done a while ago. They have to change the mentality of the woe is me, St Kilda is cursed, just another, irrelevant Victorian team. No, this is a team that's got some money and it's throwing its weight around in the hope of forcing change.
I think they tried to do that, though. I think maybe let's pretend 10 years ago when they got the Zach Jones in, when they got the Hannah Bree in, when they got Brad Hill, for example, when they got these kind of players in, this is when they tried to do it, but it just kind of fell apart. The players weren't as good. It was kind of the same time that a Carlton kind of used to do that at around the same type of time as well. And yeah, maybe they're trying to do it a little bit differently. Maybe they've finally got like the king who's fit and things like that. Maybe they won't lose the fringe players. I know some people have been saying, hey, what happens to a Caminiti, for example? Is he just relegated to the VFL because there's just no coverage and they're bringing in all these forwards and stuff? So if they can hold on to that good fringe coverage where when there's an injury, they can come in and play a role, potentially they can push further up the ladder. But the league is so damn strong, Joe. The problem with the league at the moment is there's really a case of probably you've definitely got the top 10 who can all play finals and win finals. Then you've got the next 4 or 5, and then it's all the rest of the bottom. And it's really hard for those bottom clubs to be able to say, hey, let's push up and get better without poaching players from the state leagues, like I've been saying and promoting. Because they no one from the top teams, unless you're a fringe player that can't get a job, then no one's going to go. And when there's a whiff of someone wanting to leave or being available, like an Alex Davies, for example, Gold Coast are like, yeah, we're going to play you every game and lock you into the position and make you do really well. Similar to when Dev Rob was trying to get poached from West Coast to Brisbane. It's like, yeah, we'll play you for a few games. We'll give you that edge that you're going to play and then relegate you back to the state leagues again and redo it and do it all over again. Adelaide will do the same thing with Jordan Butts. They did not give a shit about Jordan Butts. They forgot he was on the team. The big butts didn't lie. He just disappeared. Flat bottom girls. That was Jordan Butts. And now clubs are after him. They're like, oh, he's a required player. He's so good. We need him to make the future. Bro hasn't played a game in like 6 years. So it's a really tough situation if you're on bottom of the league.
Yeah,
it's really tough.
Yeah, I hear you, man. But yeah, as Charles said that the AFL is as big up here in Brisbane as I've ever seen. Well, it just goes to show
exactly
when your team is good and performs really well. Obviously, you've got all your Gold Coast supporting friends as well. It's clearly the game plan is working. The AFL's mission up in Queensland is working. It's building. That's why they don't necessarily care right now if what's happening over there is a little bit unfair. It'd be nice to see the Saints win a flag. My cousin is 57. And it's an life. There you go.
It'll be nice, but they've really got to plow through the rest of the league because look at that top 10, Joe. Anyone in that top 10 will be pushing Saints out of a final spot. Anyone over the next few years. Maybe Sydney. Maybe Sydney's the team to fall out of the top 10. But the rest of them.
Sydney rise. I think Collingwood drop.
I don't think their forward line's as good, to be honest.
No, I think the Swans will be all right. I think the Swans.
Collingwood's like, yeah, we're going to go get Petrarca. We're going to go get all these people, and the next ones, and the next ones. Like, they're just going to rinse and repeat. They go in, they get the Tom Mitchell who's 30. Next, they're going to get the next guy who's 30 or high 20s. Then they do the Geelong model. They let you develop the players, and then they become disgruntled, and then we poach them, and then it's just
Geelong develop as well. Geelong develop their players as well, and they develop them in a way that they play them in the VFL, and they're out of sight, out of mind. You just don't know. Like, we were playing Supercoach, and we were dying for Sean Manor to finally get a debut, but he was always stuck on our benches.
He's another one. That good.
And then Sean Manor finally, once he's passed his apprenticeship, once he's played. He almost played a full season in the VFL. The Cats do it right. There is room for development at VFL level, and there is a lot that you can learn at the VFL level because your seniors spots at AFL level should be precious, should be really only for the best of the best that you can field to represent your club to win every single possible game of football. The AFL isn't there just to be like, here, kids, go play and learn. No, you can do that at the VFL. AFL is where the big boys go and play. And the Cats do it so well. Sean Manor was a mature age recruit when he was picked up by the Cats, and they sent him to play a whole season, basically, in the VFL, just so that, even though he was playing in the Geelong League, but it was to make sure that he fully integrates into the system, know what's absolutely required of him, make sure that he's doing the best both ways in terms of his running and his defensive work and forward work. The Cats are the best at developing players, and they're not that old anymore. The Cats you thought were the aging nursing home. They're really not. You look at their list, it's now significantly younger than Collingwood's list. Collingwood's list is absolutely being propped up by the stalwarts in Pendles and Sidebottom. These guys who have the experience, who, kudos to them, have been durable enough and been very professional in the way that they've managed their bodies to play out such long seasons. But these two are really important to how Collingwood play structurally. Cox isn't young. Crisp isn't young. Howe isn't young. A lot of, even they added Membry. I think he's still got a few years left in him too. So it's different the way that they're going about it. They give everybody a farm at Geelong. Exactly. They give everybody a farm. You get a farm, and you get to be next to Jez, and you get to surf with Dangerfield. What a great life!
You know what's crazy that I didn't think about until I just saw it today? Collingwood, up until next year, are still paying Treloar's salary.
Yeah,
they're still paying, and like Rose are top of the ladder for almost the entire season. Like, imagine they're just being like, well, yeah, $300K, you just can't. You just can't get another player into the team. Bananas, Joe.
So yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, even my check, as Causa mentioned, isn't young either. So a lot of age in this Collingwood team that will not be getting better. Like, I can see Collingwood dipping because who's the next one coming through?
They'll just do it again. They'll find someone else. My check wasn't a superstar before he came to the club. Like, they'll just go and pinch the next one. They're probably the best team outside of a Geelong, I think. And this is why Darcy Cameron is so good. Collingwood are just exceptional at saying, here's your job, do your job. That's it. That's all you need to do is your job, and we'll make you like a premiership level player. Maya Check, come on. Hoskin Elliott, come on. Like, they're not the best, well-rounded like players in the AFL, Joe, but they're so good at just doing that thing that they do that the AFL, the rest of the team just covers for them. So it is really, really good.
Yeah, but they're all in. They're all in on this flag.
Of course
They're
they are.
all in on this flag. And with the way that their list is built, it makes sense for them to go all in on this flag. But if they don't win it, they're going to have to blow it up. And they're going to have to, or they're really going to have to go hard in terms of recruiting other players. Because at this point, I can't see them contending moving forward. They're all in on this year, and I would not be surprised if they miss the 8 next year based on their age profile. The Dogs are always close or thereabouts. They need to get a key defender. The Swans were destroyed with injury. You saw they became an entirely different team when Errol Goulden was playing week in, week out, when Papley was back. They're really important, barometers for the Swans. Carlton, yeah, it's hard to see what's going to happen with the Blues. Probably not being a top 8 side is more likely than not. You'd probably say the Saints maybe can push. I reckon the Saints could have a jump up. They're going to be a lot more dynamic. They're going to be a lot more exciting. Question of whether Rowan Marshall stays, but they've got DeConning. They've got their $2 million a year man. So the Saints are up and about. They're feeling ecstatic. I reckon the Saints can go up the ladder. Port Adelaide will be Josh Carr's first year. There'll be all these question marks in the air. Is Butters going to re-sign? Is Butters not going to re-sign? There'll be teething problems in adopting to a new coach and a new game plan. And I don't think Port are that great anyway, so I can't see them contending. Melbourne, they're probably not even going. I mean, they've got some good young kids, a new coach in King. Congratulations to them, Stephen King, the new coach of Melbourne. He's come out of a really good system at the Cats. Surely he's learnt some good things or two from Chris Scott in terms of managing the team. Again, is Petrarca staying? Is Petrarca going? That obviously plays a large part in what's going to happen with Melbourne. Max Gorn's going to be another year older. What does that look like for him? Who's going to step up as the year goes on? The Bombers, mate, don't even talk about us in North Melbourne. Richmond continue to go up. And West Coast, let's not bother talking about them either. So, in terms of the competition for spots in the 8, I really, maybe the Saints, Swans, and Bulldogs will be fighting for a spot in the 8, and I can see Collingwood for sure dropping out. Fremantle should get better. They're the 4th youngest team in the comp. Gold Coast should get better. This is their first taste of finals. The Hawks will have Zach Merritt. They'll be obviously a lot better for it as well. Lions, I don't think the Lions are that old. Even if they lose Lachie Neale, I don't think it's end of the world. They've been playing wonderfully in the midfield without him anyway. So I probably wouldn't be surprised if the Lions continue to still stick around.
They'll be fantastic. There's no way. There's no way the Lions are ever going to get kicked out.
And they'll get Annabelle as well.
Fletcher's replacing Zorko. They'll get another Ashcroft coming in to take over Neale. They'll get
Coleman.
Kitty Coleman's back. Their forward line's probably the age of like 22. They're hilariously fine. They'll be
exactly.
They not bring in a best 22 player for the next 5 or 6 years and still be as good as what they are now. It's ridiculous.
Cats are still fine. No one really knocking on retirement door other than potentially Dangerfield for the Cats. And even then, they're managing him to perfection. They're not giving him large minutes. They're subbing him out. They're giving him kebabs on the bench. Like, seriously, why the hell would you retire? And then you've got the Crows, who, again, outside of Tex Walker and maybe Rory Laird, but Rory Laird seems to be pretty good. I think Tex Walker's maybe the only one from the Crows who could potentially go out. Yeah, exactly. So, and it could actually end up being better for the Crows to not be playing the 3 talls, because we saw it didn't work in finals. It just didn't work. And maybe it does end up being better for the Crows. And they're a young side as well. They're not that old themselves. They'll obviously get Rankin back from his suspension. So I see a lot of this 8 still sticking around. I'd say Collingwood drop. And then it will be maybe the Swans most likely to jump in. And one of these guys could slip up. Maybe the Giants could slip up and the Doggies take their place. Or St Kilda somehow managed to sneak in. I don't know. It will be interesting to see, but I don't think Collingwood are contending next year. Tatum reckons that they'll blow it up,
Mm.
out, but they'll quickly bounce up again, like the Hawks have done.
Yeah, if Collingwood were to do it, I think they've got a few good talent. I mean, like, I'm going to say Ed Allen and a few of those guys, but they've definitely got quite a few early round draft picks that are stuck in that VFL team that I think once they retire, they'll 100% bounce up, and then they'll be able to poach some players, I think, as well. They're all about structure and playing a game plan, and just seem to be able to do really well when they do that.
The problem with that, Tatum, though, is Tassie's come around the corner. Now, I know Tassie still has the question mark, is it going to go ahead or not? But if it does go ahead, not a great time to be hitting the draft with, if Tassie goes along, they're going to suck up all those draft picks the same way that happened with the Giants and the Suns. Terrible time to have to blow everything up and bottom out with Tassie coming in. Worst time to do it. Saints won't get close to the top 8. Well, they ended up on the same number of wins as Carlton this year, and they weren't that hot shot either. Let's be real. You'd say that St Kilda are going to be a better team next year than this year. I would think so. They've added DeConning, they've re-signed their man, they've added Silvani, who will be, I think, very serviceable for them. Maybe replaces Josh Battle, who left a pretty big hole in their defense when he went to the Hawks. So maybe Silvani just slits into that Josh Battle role if he can stay fit and healthy, of course. Fly and Ryan definitely helps in their forward line. Bit of dynamism there. Who else have they recruited? They've recruited everybody. It's ridiculous. The Saints definitely are going to be better in 26 and 25. Leclerc, exactly. He's another great defender. Good in the age bracket. So the Saints undoubtedly are going to be. It's no achievement. I know. Can't even go stop that. So you need a major list overhaul. I think the Saints have gone about their version of a major list overhaul by acquiring all of these ready-made, ready-to-go players from other clubs. Just plug and play. I think this is going to be St Kilda's way of rejuvenating the list on the run, giving it a bit of spark and a bit of maturity. Increases the average age. You're not playing as many kids anymore. You're playing a bunch more experienced players under an experienced coach. I don't know. I reckon they'll be better next year. Depends if Roma and other leave. Yeah, like if Cal Wilkie leaves and Rowan Marshall leaves, like Cal Wilkie in particular. Like if Cal Wilkie goes, then that's a very bad ending for the Saints. But he's saying he's committed. Only teams that should definitely climb back in there would be the Swans and the Doggies. Well, the Dogs have a problem. They can't beat top 8 teams. This is a big problem. They're going to have to change the way they play. They might have to take away some of their scoring ability to maybe have a bit more of a defensive structure. Now, it might take time to tinker with that game style. It's not going to be perfect right off the bat. And their midfield is just so gung-ho offensive. It will be hard to see how well they can successfully execute that difference in game style. And a much easier way would be for them to go and buy. Like, if I'm the Dogs, I'd be contacting Cal Wilkie and saying, we're going to give you however much you want. Like, Cal Wilkie, come to us. We're a fellow Marvel Stadium team, but we are so much better to play for. And our midfield is the best in the comp, basically. We've got a very exciting forward line with Darcy and Norton. We have upside. Like, if I'm the Dogs, I am all over Cal Wilkie saying, hey, man, willing to entertain? We'll pay you whatever you want. I reckon Cal Wilkie to the Dogs would be match made in heaven, and the Dogs would probably be pushing top 4. Would probably be top 4 if that was to happen. Yeah, exactly. But the Lions getting Oscar Allen and Draper as well. Sorry to hear about Merritt. Yeah, I was sorry to hear about Merritt too, Charles. I was sorry to hear about that. I was sad and shocked at the start, but now it's just venom. Now he's dead to me. He is dead to me. Only thing with Crom, didn't even win a quarter. That's the disappointment for them. For me, massive disappointment their midfield is clearly lacking. They've got issues with that midfield. As soon as Dawson is tagged out of a game or Dawson has an off night and there's no Rankin, what else is there? Berry? Saligo's a decent player, but man, they got found out big time. Noise around Steele. I don't think they necessarily need Jack Steele. If they can get a good deal for him, why not? And start entrusting it to the next generation. Give more responsibility to Mateus Filippo, for example, to play on the ball. He looked incredible at the end of last year before he got injured when he was playing on ball. They're far more likely to climb over teams like the Saints, though. Well, yeah, of course the Dogs are. For sure the Dogs are. The Dogs are capable of being a 14 if they get Cal Wilkie.
Nah, I going back to St Kilda, I think St Kilda have put themselves in an exceptional position. Just thinking about how many really good players around the early 20 age range, that if they bring in some players to kind of nullify their problems, then I think they're going to be a really tough team to beat. I think.
Yeah, because I like their youth. Yeah. Their youth is really good.
And they've been able to cycle out a few players too. Like, it's not like they've been lucky and had like one good year. So many young players have come in and out of that team, and they've still got a few more and some positions and stuff to fill. They've done a really good job of right now grabbing some good players.
Collard looks all right. Toby, I think we'll have to see a bit more of him. Mitch Owens is a great half forward.
Yeah, but then they've got like Taru and stuff as well. Yeah, so they've got their biggest
Keeler looks really good. I liked Keeler.
Henry's a bit average, but if Mateus can get fit, then he's ready to go.
Hasty looked really good off halfback. He's got zip. I don't mind him.
Forward. Who's the forward that they like to play? The skinny one.
Cooper Sharman.
Yeah, Cooper Sharman's really good as well. Just a clean mark, and they're I tell you, man, they're best 9 and 10. Sorry, not best 9 10, best 18, 19, 20 is really good. Especially with this, like 5 or 6
he's a goer. Dodson looked really good when he played against us, but then again, everyone looks really good playing against us. Boxshaw's not too bad. Max Hall's a jet. Love Max Hall. He's a gun. You know, so they've got decent youth. They do have decent youth. I think adding these mature, experienced players now from other sides is just ready to hit the go button, really, for the Saints. And yeah, the Crows, I'll still give them a pass. The Hawks absolutely get a massive flying tick through to a prelim from 8th position. The first team ever, the first 8th position team to beat the first position team in finals ever. So that's, you know, a record-breaking thing. Crows' first time in 42 years that the minor premier gets bungled out in straight sets. And the Lions prove to the Suns that they're still the best team in Queensland. Which doesn't come as a surprise. I thought the Suns were pretty lucky to get over the line against the Dockers.
Excuse me.
When you've got Cox choking a couple of times to gift the Suns the win at the end there,
and Voss and stuff doing some stupid things as well that kind of cost them the game at points too.
So yeah, they went up against a much hardened team, and the Lions. You know, you can always count on the Lions to bounce back really strong. They're a great bounce back team, and they love to. They almost beg for critics to come out to question them, just so that they can give them extra motivation to come out and just bitch slap whoever comes in front of them. And it now sets up 2 incredible prelim finals, 2 absolute rip snorters: the Cats and the Hawks, the Kennett curse, the rivalry that goes on. It's absolutely insane. This is going to be one heck of a prelim. And then this is a rematch of the grand final from a couple of years ago between these 2 teams. So 2 absolutely incredible final series. Who do you reckon is going to win these ones, man?
Look, I have who I think is going to win, and then I have who I think
you want to win.
Yeah, I think Hawthorn will win, to be honest. I think
wow.
My brain says Geelong will win, but I'm hoping that Hawks wins. I've got a few Hawks people at work, and I think they'd love to see a grand final. But it's just the strength of the team and whatnot as well. I think Geelong rely on 2 or 3 players, whereas I think Hawthorn don't rely on 2 or 3 players. They're just strong across the board, and how well they can pick up and just go bang. The youth will carry them through. They have already. To think that this team's going to get better with potentially a Zach Merritt, Will Day still to come back, and a few of these other players, like they're just better and better and better. So yeah, Hawks definitely could win it. I hate to say it, but I think similar for Collingwood and Brisbane. I think Collingwood maybe just being the old team. They've done it before and whatnot. Whereas Brisbane, I think, are the much more exciting team. They've got a lot of players and a lot of young players who can stand up. Like, God forbid, Darcy Moore takes a knee early in that first quarter. Brisbane are just going to stomp them because they just don't have anyone else. So I would love to see a Hawks-Brisbane grand final. I think that would be cool. It'd be like the Luke Hodge Cup, John.
Yeah, the Luke Hodge or the Grant Birchall. Yeah, absolutely.
So could 100% see it happening, but it's up to those guys to win. Whereas I think it's up to Collingwood and Geelong to lose. If that makes sense.
I think the point of difference, in the Cats-Hawks game is that it's in the midfield and it's Bailey Smith and Max Holmes. I don't think the Hawks have any pace in that midfield that can go with those two guys. They've got the in and under guys. They've got Newcomb. And I'd say Newcomb has been, without a doubt, their best player. He's going to cop a tag for the first time in this final series. He's going to have Mullen wearing him like a glove. Now then, it will be up to the rest. It will be up to Warple, Ward, and McKenzie to really, not McKenzie, sorry, Nash. These three to really have to carry a big load in that midfield mix. Well, I'm looking at the Cats, and it's just, Atkins to do the defensive work as he always does. But then you've got Baz and Holmes that just can run through just dynamic ball movement. It's very different to the way the Hawks play. And I think the Cats, because of that speed, Dempsey's fast, works up and down the ground, and they're well rested. The Hawks have had to play 2 away games. They had to travel to Sydney to play there, and then came back home. And then had to travel to Adelaide to play there. They've come back. The Cats are well rested, and they're just gonna, I think, suffocate them with front half pressure. I'm gonna go with the Cats here. I think that I'm gonna tip the Cats to win this game. It'll be a great game still. I don't think it'll be a blowout by any stretch, but I will lean the Cats because of the midfield mix. And then in terms of this game, for me, this game's a bit harder to read because I don't know what Collingwood are going to do. Are they going to risk Bobby Hill? Are they going to risk it with Jeremy Howe? Are they going to risk it with Myercheck, who's also under an injury cloud? I don't really know what Collingwood are going to do if they're just going to throw caution to the wind and play their best team. Play all of them. Myercheck, Bobby Hill, and Jeremy Howe. It's a lot of risk to take because what happens if one of those guys go down in the early stages of the game? You're cooked because you have to make a really important in-game adjustment. And when you're playing against the Brisbane freaking Lions, you can't be doing that because they're way too good for you to have to make impromptu switches, and they will capitalize on that. So for me, I think I feel a bit more safe in tipping the Lions to win this game because I know exactly what team they're going to come in. There's no question marks. We know Lockie Neal's not coming in. We know they don't have any other injuries. This is the team that performed incredibly well last week, and this is the exact team that they're going to take along with them to the MCG to play against Collingwood. Whereas Collingwood, I think, have a lot more question marks over their heads. What roles are different people going to play? How are we going to manage these players? Yeah, they had the week off, but I still think there's a selection headache at Collingwood, whereas the Brisbane Lions are coming in crystal clear. So I'm going to tip the Cats and the Lions this week to win. That would make an epic grand final because these two met in a final not long ago.
Yeah, I know, but I would love a Hawks Brisbane. Excuse me.
I don't know, man. I want to see the fireworks about the Cam Rayner situation on Grand Final day. I want to see these two teams go at it again after what I saw in the first one. That would be insane. Hey, Shawnee, you tipping two interstate teams? What do you mean two interstate teams? Is what Geelong counts as an interstate team?
Geelong's interstate.
Mate. They do have, again, the Cats have that thing where they're in Victoria, but they have this interstate vibe that you're out of the footy bubble, you're out in Geelong, you got a farm, you got some surf, you've got your own shit going on over there. A little bit out of sight, out of mind. Your stadium is not even regulation size. You are the specialists of your own stadium that always has money thrown at it because it's a marginal seat in elections. So every time someone wants to win an election, vote us. We'll throw another $1 million here or $2 million there. We'll make the stadium even better. You know, like Geelong has absolutely everything going for it. Everything going for it. So it's ridiculous. So yes, they are a little bit of an interstate side without being interstate. So they have the perfect balance, and they get to play half their games a year at GMH at Cardinia Park, and they whinge they don't get home finals in Geelong. Bitch, please, you already getting 11 games in Geelong is almost penciling in 10 wins every year. Like, who can say we are banking on 10 wins automatically or 9 or 10 wins at the start of every year? No club can just be like, yep, we're penciling in these 9 or 10 games as wins at the start of every year. That almost guarantees you a top 4 or top 6 every year. So I wouldn't be complaining if I was the Cats personally.
Especially because they're probably guaranteed to play at least 2 of West Coast, North, or Richmond in like,
and the Bombers.
So what's that, like 5 or 6 guaranteed wins?
Yeah,
regardless of where they play. Like,
exactly.
Like, here's 10 wins, and hope you guys can win 2 more throughout the seasons.
Manure.
Cool. How you doing?
How you doing? And a crown
I feel like your membership has lapsed if it's not showing up on there. So maybe if you're interested, just keep an eye out.
So yeah, that's my tip. It's gonna be a Cats Lions grand final. Sorry, Shawnee. It's gonna be a Cats Lions grand final.
Hawks Brisbane for myself.
Hawks Brisbane for you. Gee, that would be an interesting colour combination.
As long as it's not like a pink Gold Coast, because that was atrocious. I swear they forgot which team they were on.
Are we going to see the Hawks in the Power Ranger, the Silver Power Ranger? How else did? Because you got yellow in the Lions, you got yellow in the Hawks. You got yellow in both, unless the Hawks play with the white kit. I don't know.
Maybe does Brisbane have like a fully purple kit or something similar to that? You could do like brown and then you could go like yellow and then like proper maroon. That would work.
Yeah, I don't know what the color scheme would be on grand final day for these two. It would obviously be very clear to see with these guys.
Like what happens with Geelong and Collingwood? They're basically colors.
Geelong and Collingwood. Well, no, I mean,
pretty close.
One horizontal, one's vertical.
Oh yeah.
And the different colors. One's a blue, one's a black. I don't know. I'm tipping a Cam Rayner Cam Rayner Cup, and you're going with the Luke Hodge Cup.
Luke Hodge Cup.
The Luke Hodge Cup. And then he can present. It would have been really cool if there was a Geelong Gold Coast Grand Final, and then it could be the Gary Ablett Cup. Gary Ablett Jr. Cup for him to present it. But yeah, I'm gonna go with those two. You're going with those two. So both of us are tipping against the Pies, which is love to see it. Going to break attendance record for a prelim, isn't it? Needs 170k. Well, 2 MCG games definitely helps. So all you need is what 85. So what, just 85k each? Yeah, we can do that.
I think one or both of them have already exceeded tickets. So
general admission for one of those games. Yeah, general admissions. Cats and Lions. Exact same as me, Tatum. Exact same as me, my friend.
Close. But
yeah, I think you're right. I know Steve-O managed to get his hands on a couple of tickets. He's MCC, though, so he got early access. He's going Steve-O, of course, of SDS Supercoach, our good friend. Yeah, so he's going with his dad to that game. It's in level 4, which will be pretty good. But, yeah, this should well and truly smash 170. Absolutely. Yeah, you both be 90k easily. Yeah, for sure. This is the prelim. You win this, you make it to the big dance.
I didn't realize until like today. Next week, Friday, we have off. Like,
yeah,
the grand final has come so quick that like, cool, yeah, next week we've got off. It's like,
wow, there you go. Tatum's going Saturday Arvo with a mate.
Nice work.
Well, why are we going Saturday Arvo? Why aren't you going? Why aren't you going Friday night? If your Geelong fan is a mate, why aren't you going to watch the Geelong game? The Geelong mate is not going to watch Geelong. You're going to go watch the Pies and the Lions. That's interesting. Very interesting. What else was there? Oh, yeah, Merritt. I was asked about Merritt before. Look, Merritt can go. You got tickets from his work. Oh, excellent. Merritt can go. I mentioned it before that he's dead to me at this point. He's dead to me because I was one of those guys. All right. I want you to know I was one of those people that felt bad for him, that was of the opinion of, Zach, you deserve to go somewhere else and get success elsewhere. I was one of those people. I was. But he...
Until...
Yeah, go for it.
No, keep going. I was just going to talk about Jason. I'm happy.
Okay. That Netflix Amazon show should have been about pure cinema. Yeah. Yeah, man. Chris, look, I was one of those guys that was all for Zach asking for a trade, going elsewhere, and getting success elsewhere because he's not going to get it here. He's not going to get it with these boys. The team's young, going through a rebuild, getting even younger. Draper's going. Goldie's going to retire. It's just going to... The average age is going to absolutely plummet. And yes, the youth is good. I think we've got a great bunch of kids that are going to be in it for a long time and potentially get sustained success. But I get it. Merritt, you're getting close to 30. You're not going to be around in your peak anymore to see these kids reaching their potential. So I was totally on board with someone like him to ask for a trade. But what did he do? He committed. He committed to the club with public comments, with renegotiated contracts, with more money, with a demand for the captaincy, and then, again, further public comments saying, I'm committed, I'm going to see this through, I'm the captain, and I'm going to help with the development of these kids that we can get better faster. And he got paid more money for it as well. You can see it hasn't happened overnight that Essendon has gotten younger. It hasn't happened overnight. It's clear as day that the Bombers are going through a bit of a rebuild. And it was clear last year as well when we got all of those draft picks in. I would be very shocked and surprised if he was told by someone inside the club that we are not going through a rebuild right now. I'd be shocked and surprised because from anyone outside the club, you can clearly see that Essendon was going through a rebuild. And anyone could see that. And yet he renegotiated his contract and got more money for it and stayed on and said, I'm going to be the captain. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to develop these players. What has changed in the 7 weeks since he's come out on 360 saying that he's committed? Sam Draper's going. That's it. Yeah. Sam Draper
and Ridley.
And
Ridley.
Staying. So Ridley's staying.
No,
I have it on. I have it on. I have it good that Ridley has been spoken to by the new head of strength and conditioning, and we also have this new strength guy. They've apparently both spoken to him, and he's been placated. He's going to stick around. He's got 4 years left on his contract.
Right.
But really, the only one who's definitely going, is Draper, who wanted $900,000 a year for over 5 years with a trigger for a sixth. I'm sorry, Draper. There is no way in hell and on earth you are worth that much. And we are not paying you that much. Absolutely not. So the only one that's categorically confirmed to be going was Draper. And you can't say that Sam Draper, who's already injury prone as it is going to completely derail the development of this club to its potential in the future. You cannot say when we've got Vigo Vesentini, Nick Bryan, and Lockie Blackiston on the list. We already have 3 ruckmen there, and that's not counting Goldie, who we anticipate he is going to retire. I don't think that he did it the right way by having dinner with Brad and then the next night going to have dinner with Sam Mitchell and not telling the club that he wants to be traded, that he wants to go. All of his messaging was, I'm committed and I'm staying. Next thing you know, his manager is leaking that he's had dinner with Sam Mitchell and that he had not spoken with Brad Scott, his coach, at all about it until we're hearing about it in the media. And he's getting his manager to just talk openly with like Sam Edmund saying, oh, he's got no issues at the club. He loves the youth. He's just concerned about his playing time right now. I'm sorry, but you should have seen this. You should have known where the club was at when you renegotiated your contract to get more money, only to then throw a hissy fit in the worst way possible and burn all these bridges at the club just so that you can force a trade, rather than being forthright and telling the club directly. He still hasn't said anything yet, by the way, and threatening to not attend the best and fairest as the captain. He has gone about it in absolutely the worst way possible. You could not have done it any worse than the way he's done it. Oh, Charles is going. See you, Charles. Yes, please.
Hey, Charles.
Yes, thank you. So I honestly, yeah, exactly, 100%. I was really disappointed in the way that he's gone about it, and yeah, I really hope that he doesn't see any success anywhere he goes. And there's a few players and people that have come out and they've been really critical of the way he's gone about it now. Even if you wanted to keep him, the way that he's acted has been that it's just not good for club culture to keep him around the way that he's going about it. Buddy Franklin is talking about it. Even Kane Corns had a great point about
James
him.
James had an aneurysm.
James had an aneurysm. You've got so many people. Adam Simpson, I think, had a wonderful take about it as well. That you have to have some accountability for your decisions. You've decided to stay. You've decided to take more money. You've decided to be the captain. Well, if you are the captain and you're staying and you're on big bucks and you're driving a Lamborghini everywhere, I'm sorry, you've made your decision that you want to be part of this build. If you want to be part of this build and you've committed to being part of this build, then we anticipate and we expect that you see it through, be a man, be a big boy, and see it through. Not be a scumbag, a snake, and backstab your club by going behind everyone and having your manager do all the dirty work rather than you face to face confronting your team, telling your team what you want to do. Instead, you've gone behind the scenes and using your player manager. 100% Uncle Akka. The player managers are as dirty as real estate agents pushing the market for higher commission. Absolutely, it is. It is genuinely disgusting. And the player managers there talking with the media. And the crazy thing about this player manager, Uncle Akka, is that he is also Brad Scott's manager. I would imagine, surely, that there's some sort of conflict of interest there. Because he can't be acting in the best way for Zach without harming Brad Scott. That's got to be a conflict of interest, in my opinion. So I'm really disappointed. He wants his cake. Exactly, eat it too. Exactly, Chris. I think, to me, his reputation has taken a massive hit, and I think a lot, if not a lot, of Essendon supporters are very hurt. His Essendon teammates are really hurt. Not even considering not attending the best and fairest is ridiculous, and he will certainly be booed next year. Wherever he plays for, he will certainly be booed, and he will be widely hated by Essendon fans everywhere for the way that he's gone about it. If CJ leaves, Merrick and takes snaps of Ginnivan. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Absolutely. Clubs are held hostage by these recruiters too, because if you don't play ball, they'll advise all their clients to not go to your club. In terms of the managers, I know what you meant, Tatum. Ultimately, though, they can't be. I don't know. I don't know how. Is that legit? Really? That these managers say, "Nah, don't go to this club. You'll never be able to go anywhere." Interesting. Very interesting.
I was muted. There you go. I was talking to myself.
You were talking, were you? I was wondering why you were quiet.
Player managers do it. Clubs do it in general. People definitely say, "Hey, if you're with us, you can get players across." I mean, that's how Geelong gets people. That's how Collingwood just continuously get people as well. Hawthorn a little bit too. AFLPA 100% just capsizes everything as well, because there's just no flexibility in terms of being able to trade players around. But yeah, it's a very interesting situation, similar to Jai Simpkin. But I think there's a lot of North fans who Simpkin's not the same player as what maybe he was, but I think the quality of the team is just getting better as well. And if he wants out, then he wants out. That's basically the assumption that I've got. I don't think there's much skin on our heads. I mean, I don't think he's much of a captain. Some of the comments, I don't know if Corey's still in here, but some of the comments that he's made throughout the year. I mean, there's that one that he made during the interview, Joe. I don't know if you caught it, where it was basically, "Oh, you guys lost," and it's like, "Yeah, they wanted it more than us." And it's like, how can your captain say that like you guys just didn't want to win? Like, you guys didn't put in the effort? You're confirming like all of the shit things that the fans have known that you've been doing for however long. Like, yeah, maybe not. So it's going to be an interesting trade period. That's all I'll say. But it's a bit rough. Of course it is. 100%. 100%. Because they get paid bonkers money.
Yeah, but from what the reporting is, if you can believe it, it was instigated by the Merritt camp.
Yep. It would be.
And that for me is just appalling. That you can have dinner with your coach, and then the next night you're having dinner with another coach. Behind
maybe he just thought, hey, where I've got. How old is Zach Merritt? He's not 25. How old is he now?
No, he's 29. He's coming on 30 years old.
So next year he's 30. Probably has 3 years left. Let's be honest, 3 or 4 at max. and says, "Well, I don't want to be in a rebuilding team that's not playing finals in 3 or 4 years. I'd rather
He
try and
should
play
have
for
made that
finals."
decision earlier, man. He should have. He should have. And if he
No.
came out and said that, no one would have begrudged him. But instead, he puts his hand up and demands to be the captain, and demands, and then he gets his contract renegotiated as soon as last year. It's not like it happened ages ago. As soon as last year, he got his contract renegotiated for more money.
You can't argue though that he has been a bad captain. Like on the field and off the field, outside of he's never been someone who's not put in the effort and not done what is needed. It'd be like if Patrick Cripps decides to leave, yeah? No one can ever say that he has been a bad captain for the club. They can just sympathise with the fact that the guy's got 3 years left and he wants to play finals. It's the same.
How long has Cripps been the captain?
It's a bit underhanded what he said, yes, but it's the same type of deal,
Patrick Cripps has been the captain since 2019, and up until when they played finals a couple of years ago, made it to the prelim, he was the longest serving captain currently in the AFL without a finals appearance. But he stayed. You never heard rumours of Patrick Cripps looking elsewhere. And if you've given that period of time as a captain, and part of the reason why we all respect him and no one can say a bad word about Patrick Cripps is because of his legacy as a Carlton man, and him building the club and him being part of the build. When you are the captain, you play under a different set of rules. When you are the captain, you are almost essentially an on-field coach. Can you imagine if you're playing for a coach who's looking elsewhere and potentially looking to get out? It just doesn't work. When you are committed as a captain, part of the build and part of the change that you're looking for in success comes from you. And you are an active part of that change, and you are an active part of improving the side. That's what it means to be a captain. You don't just try and give it 2 years and say, no, I can't do it here. I'm going to go behind all of your backs. I'm not going to ask for a trade. I'm going to let my manager do the talking. I'm going to blow everything up. I'm going to go about it in the most ridiculous way possible, burn all my bridges, not attend the best and fairest because I don't have it in me to look elsewhere. Patrick Cripps is a true captain. Jobe Watson, I'd put in if Zach Merritt reckons he's been hard done by. If Zach Merritt really believes he's been hard done by because he hasn't won a final yet, he doesn't have to look very far. Look at Jobe Watson. Look what Jobe Watson went through as captain. He literally went through the saga, had to front the media all the time, labelled a drug cheat, had his Brownlow medal ripped off him. They were kicked out of finals. He was suspended for a year, and he came back. And he still came back. There are people who are genuine, incredible footballers, genuine, incredible clubmen that will live on as legends of their club without necessarily having tasted the ultimate success. But their legacies are pure, their legacies are wonderful, and people can talk about them and look back on them very fondly. Even if Cripps never becomes a premiership player, I guarantee you Carlton fans will still talk about Patrick Cripps with as much love and affection as Anthony Koutoufides, who won their flag back in '95.
Most definitely. But I think the theme of the way it goes is not to just drop the team that you're playing for, but hey, if I've given 15 years of my life to this club, maybe I want to go and place and do some things and give my club a early draft pick to be able to keep going better and then doing this and doing that and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah. HHF. Sorry, I'm a bit dyslexic. How you going, mate? Excuse me.
I think it stands for Hawthorn Hawks Football Club forever.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Well, if we've got a Hawthorn supporter commenting now, I'm sure this is going to be very positive. You say you should have done this earlier. Have you thought that maybe he was trying to give Essendon every chance to get its act together? He's 30 next year. He deserves a chance.
And that's partly what I'm kind of thinking too.
Why does he do? No one is owed anything. No one is owed any. No, everyone deserves. What do you mean everyone? He deserves a chance. He's made the captain of the football club so that he can lead the club, lead the side on field, be an on-field leader. He's putting his mold on it. He's putting his twist on it. He was dying for it. And everyone who's an AFL player is given a chance. Everyone's given the chance, and they're paid very handsomely for it. No one person deserves success. No one person is ever entitled to success. It is a team sport. It is a team game. And the second you start to look at it as a personal, I deserve this, I deserve that, is when you lose sight of yourself, when you lose sight of the big picture. I can guarantee you, Brett Deledio, when he left Richmond, because he probably felt, I deserve success, I've done this, I've done all of this for Richmond. I guarantee you, he felt that he deserved success and went to the Giants, and what happened? They lost to Richmond in the prelim. Richmond go on to have a dynasty. And he unfortunately is, and I will never forget Brett Deledio. He was a good player, great player, probably Richmond's best player before Richmond popped off. No one deserves anything. You make of yourself what you can. And he should have done it sooner. He should have looked at the list, seen it getting younger, seen us going through a rebuild, seen that we had hit the draft hard, and he should have known this is a rebuilding side, and everyone outside of the club could clearly see that. If the captain himself was blindsided, I'm sorry, that makes him even more. Even Chris Newman. Exactly, Tatum. Even Chris Newman too. Hardwick still talks about him when talking about Swallow. There are some players that are there. Everyone wants to win a flag. Everyone dies and dreams of winning a flag. There's no way this was the only way about doing it this way. He just simply has to come out and say, no, I can't see this side winning a flag in the time that I'm around, and be upfront and honest with the club. Don't renegotiate.
Maybe he'll do that once. Maybe he'll do that once.
No, there's no point now. He's gone. He's already, his silence at the moment is deafening. He hasn't spoken yet. All the talking is coming out from his manager and the media that is talking to his manager. He has completely blown up the situation, and there is no reason for it. No reason for it. He's only doing it now because he knows. He knows that he's done it wrong. He shouldn't have put his hand up to be captain. He shouldn't have decided, you know what, I'm going to sign this massive contract with the Bombers, and renegotiated it twice, only to then go behind our backs. Just ask for the trade, bro. Just ask for the trade. Tell us. Be forthright. Ain't no one buying a shitty merch now. 100%. It's disgusting. What does this deserve? Is life fair? He made a commitment as a man. A man has honor. A boy chases the bag and chases, as Kane Corn said, cheap success. Cheap success. Because he's going to join a team that's playing in a prelim final right now. He's playing in a prelim. You are taking the easiest route possible, moving from Essendon to the Hawks in this way. Are you really going to be that guy at the reunions Are people going to look at you as a real integral member of that team with all these fond memories of the hardships that you went through to achieve that success, the bonds and the camaraderie? No. You will always be looked on as the mercenary, the cherry on top that came along and just got us over the line. That's how it will be. Merritt is a fake captain. His true colours have shown through. Selfish, wrote about himself more than the club. And that's why I disagree with Jez when he said that he was a good captain. Unfortunately, people tend to show their true colours and in the final moment. And I think the way he's gone about it this way, and the fact that McGrath has spoken out about it, Redmond's spoken out about it, Nick Martin has spoken about it, the CEO basically said there's no way he can be the captain again. He has blindsided everybody, and everyone has taken it really poorly. That is not how a captain behaves. Every player that has ever played wanted flags doesn't make them entitled to it. Just because you tried hard at a club, mate, that's your job. You paid for it, and you decided to do this, and you gave the commitment. You play to a different set of rules when you're a captain. And people say, oh, he's not the first captain to leave. No, he's not the first captain to leave. But a lot of those captains, if not almost all of those captains, wait until they become free agents and then exercise their right as a free agent to go. They don't give their commitment to the club still under contract and then go about it behind their backs to try and blow everything up to force a trade. That is incredibly poor form. His reputation in my eyes has completely plummeted. He's gonna be booed significantly next year, and a lot of people don't want to see him at the club anymore. A lot of people that I'm talking to, a lot of Essendon supporters, they want him gone. Get the best deal possible, because it's really become toxic now. The way that he's gone, and he's still not saying anything. He still hasn't said anything. So yeah, he can honestly piss right off. He is dead to me. He is done. And I hope wherever he goes, I hope he never sees success. I hope he is the next Brett Delidio, because yeah, he's a mercenary. This is selfish, mercenary behavior that doesn't instill any confidence out of anybody. Imagine the reception at the first Hawks for Bombers go. It will be fireworks. It will be cinema. The Hawks are going to absolutely thrash us. But I think it could end up being a reverse line in the sand moment, and seeing Sam Mitchell's smug face as he screws Essendon over yet again by taking our best player and our captain. Like, just when the Bombers can't hate the Hawks and Sam Mitchell anymore, this is just the next chapter in that storied hatred. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's fights. I wouldn't be surprised if there's biffs. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and I'm going to be one of those guys booing Zach Merritt in that game. I will be one of those guys booing, and I think you're allowed to boo. And this is a way that we're gonna show our disapproval of the way he's gone about it. No need to apologize, Henry. You've done absolutely nothing there's nothing for you to apologize for. The person who has to apologize is Zach. Absolutely. I can feel your pain. Cheers, Tatum. Much love, brother. He has a lot to apologize for. Now, is it entirely on him? Obviously, part of the reason why we're here is because the club hasn't been able to build, hasn't been able to provide a better competitive side up until this point. So Merritt's obviously lost patience, and I can understand that. Hence why I said at the start, I was one of those guys that was open for him to ask a trade to leave. But once you've made a commitment and once you've decided that you're going to stay, that's it. You see it through, you put your big boy pants on, and you act like a man. You act like a man. You've given someone your word. You go through it. You got more money. You're driving around in a Lamborghini. You're not a sob story, Zach Merritt. You are not a woe is me situation. You are not. It's bad for the league. The whole league this week's teams makes exactly. It's just another perfect example of the rich getting richer and the poor teams at the bottom continuing to stay at the bottom. Boo your bloody head off. If you boo Joe, the Hawks will be looking around for Bruce. Well, that's a sad story as well. With Bruce going out with the ACL in the that's really sad. Really, really sorry for him. Bro? Zach Merritt. Zach Merritt drives. Even Dan Gorringe made a TikTok earlier in the year that he's driving a Lamborghini Urus. He's driving a Lambo, bro. Zach Merritt. Like, are you kidding me? You're the captain of a big Victorian side. You're driving a Lambo. You're earning $1 million, whatever, plus a year to be the captain of said club. You've renegotiated your contract last year. You are not a sob story, bro. You are not a sob story. You're not. Shit ending for him. 100%. And I hope his ending is even shittier. I'm sorry, Sean. I know you're a Hawk. But just from a personal perspective, I hope his ending is even shittier. And that he doesn't get the success that he wants. Sell out. Bro, 100%. 100%. Right at this crucial time. Oh, Bruce. Well, I'm sorry. I've taken it about. I've taken it about Zach. Yeah, that was very sad. That was very sad. My God. Just at this crucial time, right when. But hey, looking at it, I'm trying to look at it from a glass half full. Get a couple of first rounders, maybe a player as well. 2 first rounders and a player could go a long way to just expediting the rebuild, hitting the draft hard this year, shoring up a lot of the list spots that need shoring up. It's not a very deep draft, so maybe having these early ones could be important, especially with potentially Tassie coming around the corner. Won't have much of an opportunity to build through the draft anymore. So it could very well be that the club plays better under a McGrath captaincy and maybe a Nick Martin vice captaincy, or Nick Martin as the captain, regardless of which one. When you listen to the kids talk, all they say is they always rave about Andy McGrath.
Everyone loves Lord Fightboard.
And if they had known earlier, they could have packaged them off to wet toast. Exactly. 100%. We'll give you Ty Vickery. The State of Origin news will be big. It's weird they're playing it on Valentine's Day, though. February 14. Like, aren't people going to be out on dates? Aren't people taking out their misses and stuff and going to enjoy whatever it is? Like, really? Feb 14? Pick another day where there's nothing else on. He's dead to me. Yeah. I'm too happy in this.
How good is that?
Bro, I'm too happy, though. What am I doing smiling while saying he's dead to me, bro? What am I doing smiling? Like, that doesn't work. I look like a freaking psychopath like that.
Okay.
No. We gotta make it a more upset version than that. Jesus, that's
all right. Let me figure it out.
Feb seems strange a bit, bro. It's in summer, and it's gonna be hot. I think when the practice games happen. But yeah, Feb 14 is just a weird date. Oh, the guys like it. Tatum's loving it. Shawnee says, "Lol, that's gold." Big J love it. All right, well, he is dead to me though. Regardless, he is dead to me. If you want me to pose for an angry face, I can do it for you if you want.
Okay. 1 second.
Done?
No. It's fine. I'm fixing it up.
You'll figure it out. Bro, I literally was
No.
pausing with an angry face for you to take a screenshot.
Sorry. Sorry.
I'm just gonna have an angry face as a thumbnail. It's gonna be ridiculous. But yes. Anything else? What else are we talking about? Get that mad mug going. Oh god, it's all right. She'll be right. Yeah. What else has happened in the league worth talking about? I sort of want to end in 10 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
Free agent officially picks new home. Oh, hello. Is this about Draper?
Yeah.
Where is that buffoon going? Has officially nominated Brisbane. Good for you. Good for you. As expected, as officially nominated Brisbane as his home, which is not restricted. Now let's see if it gets first round pick or end of first. Bloody hell. Oh, please be pick 6. Please be pick 6. It probably won't be though. The club is all right. Night Tatum, have a good one. Giant Sim going to leave.
I hope so.
That's good. Yeah. Well, he's still got how many years on his contract?
4.
4 years.
4 years. Bro.
4 years on his contract.
4 more years.
Hell, bro. It's so stupid. It's so stupid, man. These long contracts.
Someone decided giving him a big contract was worth it, I suppose, and then look at what's happened, you know?
Suns forward 6 trades. Ooh. Who's the Sun forward that 6 a trade? Malcolm Rose Jr.
Yeah.
He wants to be traded.
Yeah. Sydney or Richmond, Sydney. Yeah, Uncle Acker, I think has a lot to do with lack of mid-time. I mean, he's not going to push Wardlaw. He's not going to push Sheasel. He's not going to push whoever else out of that midfield. He's not going to push LDU out of there, especially after the $1.3 million contract or whatever nonsense it was. And, you know, doesn't do enough defensively. He's a liability in the midfield. We relegated him to the half-forward line, and I think he's done okay there for points of time, but yeah, just not good enough. So see you later, mates.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. All right. Well, I don't know. I'm hungry. I've had a long emotionally charged day.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, got. So I was sad before, and now I'm angry again. So that just makes for a hungry combination. So guys, we decided to hope you enjoyed the public stream today on Tuesday. For thought with the season coming to an end, thought it would at least in the finals get the chats going with the public, especially seeing as Mondays haven't been a thing. So just thought it would be good to talk about footy in general, the landscape with where it's at, our takes. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and we look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday.
Yeah, 100%. We may do the same thing as again heading into the grand final. So it's going to be a good recap. Joe has picked. Who have you picked, Joe? Geelong and Brisbane as
Correct.
your 2 picks. I have picked. I don't think it's going to happen, but I've picked Hawks and Brisbane. So we'll see how we go. But hold us to that next week. Supercoach finals as well. Don't forget AFLW is doing all right as well. So we'll check out teams and whatnot with that later.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Thursday. Bye for now. Man, you really love this one, don't you?
So good.
It looks crazy.